All right, man, Jaron, and it's just one decision over Karen Chukhadzhiann. He went the distance. A lot of people probably gonna be saying he was exposed, and but this is the maturation process of a young fighter. He needed the rounds. He went 12 rounds. Everybody expect him to pile drive, through the competition, and that's just not how it's always going to go in boxing. You know, um, I predicted this. I mean, it really wasn't much of a prediction because I seen it happen so many times in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Where people turn around and say, "Well, just because the guy went the distance, he got exposed." What happened in the fight with Chukhadzhiann movement caused problems. Um, kind of when he stared at Ennis the way, and I knew he was kind of probably going to be a tough fight for Ennis. Also, when I seen him and his father, I think he said it. I think his father said that they don't watch film; they make adjustments as they go. For the fight, I don't like hearing the trainer say that. And when the fighter say, "Well, I don't watch film," and then like that, every other sport, you know, they watch film. They watch film. Ray Lewis, Peyton Manning, Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, LeBron James, every other sport, they watch film. And when you don't watch film, you don't watch a guy. You put your fighter, or as a fighter, you put yourself behind the eight ball, because it gives you an advantage. Now, if you watch film, you seen that movement was coming, that would have gave you an advantage. He knew what he was getting into. Karen, you know, and he had a former fighter that just retired 2015 from Ukraine in his corner. They know exactly how to get Jaron Ennis. They made Ennis pick up his feet. They made Ennis get on the front foot and showed today Ennis had some problems with that irky jerky style, and you be like, well, what could he have done different? Prepare, watch the film. If he watched the film, he'd have been more prepared. You probably would have seen more jabs to the body. You probably would have seen more. And what made it difficult for Chukhadzhiann or Karen Chukhadzhiann, whatever his name was he wasn't just sliding one way. He was fading like he was gonna slide to the left and he'd slide to the right. It was look like he'd take a half little step to the left, he'd come to the right. So it didn't really matter what position, Orthodox or Southpaw Jaron Ennis was in. Chukhadzhiann can go either way. That was a difference. Chukhadzhiann go left, right, his feints. He was slipping out of there, and most of all, he could take a punch. So, Ennis was a little heavy on his feet tonight. Um, you know, and Chukhadzhiann moved all night. You ain't gonna find many opponents that move all night like Chukhadzhiann. He was in great condition. Nobody talk about that. This wasn't no 10-round fight. This was a 12-round fight. He was in great position to go all 12. He was in great position to go all 12, man. So, um, yeah, his movement was just too much. You probably like see Ennis, go to the body a little bit earlier. But then again, you trying to figure him out. I think he was throwing a little bit too heavy. I mean, me and Henry was texting back and forth. Henry said you think he getting a little bored in there, and you can't lose focus. You can't get bored. Um, I would just like to see him kind of pick up the jab a little bit more, jab to the stomach, go to the body early on and not headhunt as much. But I thought he thought he can get that guy out of there. But and for Chukhadzhiann, I thought he did enough to win some of the rounds because Ennis ran one or two big shots and the commentary was mad biased. But that's what you expect when they're trying to push somebody to be the next best thing. He didn't have enough power, honestly, but he was scoring. And Boots got a problem with the left hook tonight. I don't know if it was the movement, the pivoting. He was making Boots turn and reset. I don't think he expected that. But once again, that's what happens when you don't prepare yourself and don't watch the film. I don't know if fighters and trainers be saying that and do watch the film, or they be saying it and they don't watch the film. But yeah, his pivot game was cold. His pivot game was cold. You know, but but yeah, he get better from this, bro. He get better. You need the rounds, and people hyping him up, saying, "Well, and you hear Kenny Porter saying, well, he unbeatable, he this, he that, in the third, dog, you know." You seen, when somebody, like I said I predicted this because I've seen it happen so many times. Like I said, once somebody look ordinary, everybody gonna jump off the train. Mark my words. Once somebody start to look ordinary or have a shaky moment, everybody gonna want to jump off the bandwagon. And I said the person who gonna get boost problems is the guy who gonna keep everything basic and fundamental. And he had a little flavor to it. He did. He had a little flavor to it, but he was a very fundamental fighter, and all that flashy shit went out the window. When you could front run and people, get distracted by the glitz and the glamour and all the speed and athleticism that he doing, you know what I'm saying? And taking the punches from, punching from the hip and being so fast and flashy and all that stuff. When that shit gone, when you break them down, to the last pop molecule, when you do all that, it's like, you know what I'm saying? You know, when you break it all the way down, and you be basic, they had a great game plan. Credit to his coach. All that shit went out the window. And guess what? He put his chin down, put his high guard up and started walking them down. When you front running and doing what you want to do, of course, the shit look fun. Of course, it looked easy, but this Korean dude, his trainer was pretty fucking good. His trainer was pretty good putting the game plan together. But he just offensively just didn't have the firepower. That was it. He offensively didn't have the firepower. That's it. But he could have just. I think he could have watched the film. Was the number one thing he should have did first. If we being honest, he should have watched the film. Then I think you had a better. But just from an aspect, just jab into the body, doubling the jab up. You know, touching the body, touching the body, touching the body, touching the body, and then dropping a boom upstairs. I think he was looking for one big shot. I think he thought he started believing, or that I think he started believing. I think he started believing that. I think he started believing in his power. That's what I think he started to do. I think he started to believe the hype about his power, and it's hard not to. When you got former, fighters like was it Chris Van Deer said he hit harder than Spence, and you know what I'm saying. So when you get when you start getting that type of stuff, of course. But it's always somebody that can take your power, bro. Especially when you moving up and down, upper divisions and all that. It's always somebody that can take your power. Don't forget it. It's always somebody that can take your power. So this is not the he is not the exception. So now you just work on changing speeds. Working your angles versus guys that can move. You bring guys in there that's fleet of foot moving, and you just get back to working your angles. Had to get back to working his angles and taking his angles away. I think he would have been a lot better finding his uppercut a little bit. I just think he started loading up, getting bored in there. Um, that's my opinion on it. That's my opinion on it. Honestly, I think he started just getting bored in there. So, but if I'm him, um, you know, just start watching your opponent. I just tell him get behind his jab. Um, that's why I tell him get behind his jab. Uh, jab. Touch the body, change the speed. Get his combinations going. Don't look for one or two big shots. I think that's the big thing about it. Don't look for one or two big shots. And I think that's what he was looking for, one or two big shots. And I don't think you can. I don't think you gonna win at that level. Do this mean he not ready for Spence and them? Hey, I don't know. It's another conversation to have. But yeah, I like to see him just kind of look at your opponents. You can't underestimate anybody. But yeah, I still think he a tremendous talent. Didn't take nothing away from it. I said eventually, as soon as he hit some turbulence, people gonna jump off the bandwagon. The people gonna say he got exposed. Happened to Spence. It happens to all the guys that get the boogeyman mantra. Matias, it happens. You just somebody like him. You just you know they were so confident, so cocky, looking ahead of Corinne, Chukhadzhiann or whatever like that, looking ahead of them. Um, talking about Spence and all that. You gotta eat what's on your plate before you get to dessert. So hey, it is what it is. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe button. It's the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to notifications. We go live and drop video financially. Want to support the channel? Cash App $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Link to the first link in the description. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.